EB Entertainment, guys. Sydney has made a response, and we gonna be looking into this, yo. Let's dissect this.
In this situation, I think it's reasonable in some way to give benefit of the doubt, but I could be wrong. I've learned recently that there are a lot of people in the world who live action role play as the people that they want to be, and behind the scenes, they're anything but. And I think that many of these situations will inevitably expose those people for exactly who they are.
Had to get that right in the beginning of the clip because that is so true, guys. As you can clearly see, I'm the one who put those images in there, so please understand Sydney did not do that. Also, I'll be putting a link to her response video and even the podcast for you guys as well, so you can get some context, because I will be chopping up this video more than Jack the Ripper, guys. I'm just gonna have to keep it blunt. But without further ado, guys, she has given a well-knit response. So, of course, we're going to break this down because y'all liked my last video. Thank you very much for watching it.
My name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, this video is sponsored by me. Go subscribe to the email list on my website if you so desire, or buy some of my merch. I don't know. You do you. Now, some of you may or may not be aware that I was involved in an incident on my show You Are Here with Elijah Schaefer on Blaze TV on our last episode of the year, which was on the 17th of December, for those of you who need all the details. We brought on a guest called Jack Murphy, and the show was going really well up until the end when I was reading super chats, and I read one that referenced an article that he had written some years ago, and he got very upset and swore at me.
Because he's a cock.
And then at the end of the show, he got up and briskly walked away.
Because he's a cock.
Like I said, I will play that clip now, but for those of you who want to see the full episode or think there's more context to be had from watching it, I will link it in the description box and also give you the timestamps that are the most relevant so that you don't have to find them yourself.
So of course, as a recap, guys, from that last video, she essentially read a super chat of Jack Murphy's. Essentially, someone said, "Hey man, can you address that whole cuck situation?" And he blew up on her, shouted at her, swore at her, kind of thing, trying to play alpha and all this bullshit. But you guys already know, and just for some context, I will play the video again.
TAC, what's that? What?
Nothing. I literally was just coughing. It's just an inconvenient cough.
Right? That's some beta shit, right? That is some beta shit. Whether you want to say female or you want to say co-host or just both, you should have jumped in and defended your co-host. I just don't understand why you sat there and tried to make a joke like, oh, it's just my voice. She was clearly asking for an out from him, right? Like, help me out here. I don't know what's going on. And this guy just left her to burn in the fire like a little bitch. You know, I want to give him the cuck, treatment, but I don't know enough about him. But that's definitely beta energy.
I wasn't really going to comment publicly or say anything about it, just sort of let it run its course. Some things have been said that I think misrepresent me and my actions, and I would like to clear those things up.
It's a good thing she's coming out and saying this because, as you know, Jack Murphy has gone on the Tim Pool podcast as damage control, and you could kind of see, just based on his obvious cuckery and him being a little cuck, right? I'm gonna say it's true. It is true. He's a cuck, right? He was trying to save face on the show, and there was a little bit of dishonesty. You could kind of tell he was just trying to shape it in a way to make himself look better. Where, buddy, you let someone rearrange your wife's guts. Nothing is gonna make you look better. Nothing, bro. Nothing.
But when people say things about me or about a situation that I'm involved in that are blatantly untrue, or things that paint me in a really unreasonable light, without defending myself or giving me a platform to come back at you and set the record straight, that is the point where I feel like now I need to say something.
Facts. I'm the same way. Honestly, if it's not worth my energy, I'm not gonna waste my time on it. Like, I don't want to put someone higher or lower, but usually the low frequency energy is when someone's just talking too much shit and they're just yapping out their mouth. But when it attacks your character, guys, it's on you to make sure that you clear that shit up, because a lie is a lot more, appealing than the truth is. So you have to make sure that you put the truth out there, your truth and the real truth, so people don't steer false narratives about you. So always remember, that's not always good to keep quiet.
And that's what we're going to do now. So Jack Murphy went on Tim Pool's Timcast IRL a couple days after the incident happened with me on You Are Here. And due to the volume of comments and super chats and questions about what had happened between us, they addressed it on the show.
Just gonna play the clip of Jack Murphy trying to defend himself on the Tim Pool podcast, and just kind of note how like his energy and demeanor is different even when technically addressing the same thing. And that goes to show what I said in my last video. He only did it because it was a female. That's not alpha. He felt like he had like, who's this bitch talking to me like this? F you. Oh, I just can't, bro. I just can't. Let's just watch the clip. Let's see what his defense is.
I'm sitting on the show and we're talking and they're joking about reading super chats where people are building like gas chambers and she's reading out loud like, how did I build this gas chamber that didn't kill all the Jews that I was supposed to kill, right? It's like insane, the super chats that she reads. And so I'm telling her this whole time, I'm like, hey, you might want to read all the super chats before you read them out loud, right? A little bit of a warning.
Oh my gosh, can you just vet the super chats before you read it? I don't want to get booked on being a little cook. How about you just tell her? You ever thought about just using your voice and saying, hey, there's something in the past that I don't want you guys to bring up on the show? Just like she said, and she wouldn't have brought it up. I would even respect it. But when you just expect people to not call that out, nah, bro. On the very least, it's content. And then in any other case, no one fucking knows. You genius. Carrying on, though.
I shouldn't have cursed at her. I should have just used amused mastery and just like laughed at her and dismissed her. But I didn't because I had set a boundary and she crossed it. And that's part of being a man too, is saying, here's my boundary, please don't cross it. And then she crossed it and I told her that I didn't like it.
Amused mastery? I bet he sells that in his course, bro. It's called shutting the fuck up when it's time to shut the fuck up and speak when it's time to speak. You don't need to name it something, bro. And then boundaries. Yes, men do set boundaries, bro. But this was just some cuck shit. What do you mean boundaries? Where were the boundaries when you had someone? I don't want to bring that up again, but you guys already know. But yo, listen, man. This is not, you didn't set boundaries. Setting boundaries would have been telling her not to read it. Telling them not to look into that shit. Really putting it in stone with your words and not just making someone presume like a female would do. Carrying on though.
On Tim Pool that he made it very clear that he didn't want to talk about the article in question and that he made that expressly clear to us and we brought it up anyway. Here's a clip of him saying that.
And there's our confirmation, or at the very least Sydney's side, right? Because I know people were kind of saying, well, they did bring it up the first time and he was uncomfortable. Uncomfortable and putting something in stone saying you don't want it to be said. Two fundamentally different things. Now, you could expect someone to read the sign and then take the initiative to stop. Sure, you could use that argument. But at the end of the day, in life, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself and you got to address things that you don't want or want to that you want to have, right? You can't just expect people to assume. Because just like how you said, hey, you tell your buddy, can you bring that thing tomorrow? And you just assume they're going to remember, right? And then when they forget, you get mad. Well, maybe you should have called them again and then reiterated it to show the seriousness and refresh it in their brain. Take that initiative. Well, of course not. Of course not, because you know he's alpha.
When the people clipped it, where all they see is me saying, cursing at her, but they didn't see the whole thing where I was like, let's not talk about that after I've addressed it. And then she brought it up again.
However, this was not said to us at any point during the You Are Here episode. Here is a clip of that for you. Because you guys are the advertisers. That's why we try to get through all of these and read all your comments.
I got a few
even
more.
if you're trapping me. No, I want to read this one first. Because I started it and I'm going to finish what I started. Anamorphosis says, Elijah, and I apologize for this in advance, Jack, asked Murphy about the article he wrote about literally cuckolding his wife. I wish I was joking. True alpha.
Wow.
True.
Wow, you went there with that. I have absolutely no comment on that other than to say that whatever people's perception is about that, it's 180 degrees wrong.
Hey man, I know that article is real, and I allowed some Tyrone to rearrange my wife's guts while I watch because it's so alpha, brother. But it's just 180. That is not real. That's not who I am now. I need to sell my course, so just please refrain from bringing this up. This is really putting a damper on my sales, please.
And it has nothing to do with people think what they're thinking it to be today.
Jack makes mention in the Tim Pool episode that he highlighted to me that I should be reading ahead or reading the super chats before I read them out loud. Now, again, if he was saying that in reference to the fact that he wanted me to avoid super chats about this article and about cucking, then that wasn't made clear to me. That was not something that I picked up on at the time. That was not something that I knew he wanted me to do. I'm not a mind reader.
I was literally gonna do my own cut and say she's not a fucking mind reader, but there it is right there. She beat me to the punchline, guys. If just like in dating, just like, and I'm not giving you advice, man. I'm not giving advice. Just like in dating though, right? The girl's not gonna know that you like her or that you want to do anything or pursue anything with her unless you use your words, especially with women, because they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. I don't know if he tells you that in his course or if anyone is taking it, but like they're not gonna do it. You're gonna have to take initiative. So for someone to sell the course on how to be alpha and get women, literally not using the one fundamental core ability of a man is just so counterintuitive it hurts. He's literally the antithesis of what he claims to be. Look at that.
I'll say here that reading super chats about cuckolding and cucking one's partner just seemed like regular trolling to me, and I did not know what they were in reference to.
That literally stems from him being in an emotional spot and just having a very soft spot about the subject, where he literally got triggered. The trauma in his head just activated, and he just came with an emotional response. Like he literally felt like he attacked him. Like everyone who made fun of him for the past years that's been berating him just all came all at once, and then he saw the smile on her face, and he's like, F this person, you know what I mean? So I could rationalize to understand where he came from. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right, buddy. I'm sorry.
I also apologized in advance in this next clip to Jack before I read the first super chat in this situation. I've seen a couple people say that they wish that I had been more assertive in the moment, but like, guys, at the time, I was really shocked because I had not expected that. I didn't know what was going on. I was very confused.
I honestly wasn't expecting her to say anything, guys. When you have what looks like to be an alpha, just a big dude shouting at a lady, right? It's gonna put her in a vulnerable spot. It's scary probably for her, right? He's a big dude at the end of the day, right? But someone we can blame is a certain beta that didn't want to say anything, and that would be Elijah. So now you have your spot, Elijah. You have your time to let us know, why didn't you defend Sydney at that point, your co-host?
What?
And there it is, guys. So I used quite a bit of footage. Hopefully I put enough of my own words in there. But I really wanted to just break down that whole video, the parts specifically that I felt like she addressed certain things. And also it just added more context to the situation, guys. So ultimately check out her video, right? You'll get the full context. As I mentioned, I chopped that up like Jack the Ripper, guys. So you're not going to get the full context of my video. Also, if you want to put the podcast in there, it's really towards the tail end of the podcast where you're going to hear this whole drama, and then you have to go somewhere out in the middle to get that part where he brought it up or she brought it up originally. But there it is, guys. I hope you enjoy this one like you did the last one. If you're going to show me same support as you did with the last one, I would love you so much. Just hit that sub button if you like. Have I proven it to you at this point and that I'm awesome? I don't know. But just hit the sub, hit the like, leave a comment. Let's get the engagement going down there. You already know, GB Entertainment out this bitch. Peace.